Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the morning routine. It's Thursday morning, November the 16th, 2017, episode number 219. So glad to see you this morning. It is a fine, chilly morning here in Pennsylvania this morning. And we are off and running. It is Thursday already. This week is flying by. And had a minor coffee incident this morning. I have a old coffee pot that I keep downstairs in over here in the kitchen. And I set my timer every day so my coffee will be ready in the morning when I come downstairs to do the morning routine with everybody. And I went over there, and the entire counter was a giant pond of coffee. Yes, a giant pond of coffee. So I guess when I set the timer last night and I put the pot in, the pot didn't get seated all the way into the coffee maker. It got put in halfway so it could hold a little safety button in, and some of the coffee went into the pot. The rest of it went all over the counter. So we had a minor coffee incident. We cleaned it all up. We're good. We got one cup out of it, so we got a good start to the day, right? And I can always make another pot when we're done, so... gotta love my coffee, that's for sure. So, but yesterday, I did discover something yesterday. This is an opinion only, okay? So don't use this as ammunition if you are in a house like mine. I live in a home where my wife believes in hardwood flooring and doesn't like carpeting. We have allergies in the house and things like that, and so it helps keep the allergies down. That's why she believes in it, as she's looking out for everybody. I am a carpeting guy. I love carpeting. I love how quiet it makes the room. I think it makes it feel cozier and warmer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, I love carpeting. Well, we have never had carpeting in this house, so we've just avoided it for allergies, like I said. Well, guess what? In our project that we've been working on all year, we have decided to get a piece of carpeting. It's not wall-to-wall, but it was a very large piece of area. Do you even call it an area rug? I guess you would. It's regular carpet that's bound on the edges, right? But it's big and with the padding. So the thing sits about that high off the floor, like 2 inches thick total, maybe 1.5 inches thick total. Yesterday I picked it up and I put it in the floor. And last night, everybody in the house was in there at some point laying on the carpet, talking with each other and whatever. So I believe that carpeting is the key. It's the secret to bringing the world together. Hardwood floors, everybody's got to sit up on their chair like this. Carpeting, everybody's on the floor, right? Sitting and watching, talking, whatever. It brings people together. That should be a slogan for some carpeting company. You know, give your family a reason to come together, to sit on that cushy carpeting in your living room. Just a theory. I don't know. Maybe I should get into marketing, you know, because that's the way it should be. So, well, it's not the way it should be. Like I said, an opinion only. So, but anyways, I hope everybody's doing fantastic. 7 days, guys. 7 days till T-Day. I'm so excited. We'll be watching the Macy's Day Parade in the morning as you can smell the steam and aromas coming from the kitchen, getting ready for a big feast. I'm so excited. House full of people, like awesome. And it's 7 days away. So I hope you're as excited as I am. But very cool. All right, I've got some stories for you today, some little snippets of information. Oh, I do have a shower thought for you, by the way. Today's shower thought from the newsletter, The Hustle. Where the heck do hamsters roam free in the world? Right? Like every animal that there is that's ever become a pet lives somewhere outside and roams free. And somebody decided to domesticate it and make it to a pet. Where do hamsters roam free? Where is that? That would be a freaky place, man. Right? I'm telling you. So, wow. Anyways. All right. So some stories I have for you today. This one is, I like it. It's interesting. This is, I have entitled it in the show links. By the way, all articles can be read in their entirety in the show links at freedomconvo.com. Go and click on the morning show link right there. And I just want to remind everybody again, Facebook, YouTube, podcast listeners, don't forget to like and subscribe on the podcast and help get the word out. This article here is about the Pope, okay? The Pope and cell phones. You may have heard this already because it happened, I think a week ago or whatever. But in his weekly audience, Pope Francis called for followers to put down their cell phones during Mass and be more engaged. It's an interesting statement, guys. I've thought this myself, right? When you go to an event and everybody's got their phones up and they're watching this magnificent live event right there, and they're watching it not live, but through a 3 or whatever 4-inch screen. Like, are they missing out on the context of why they're there? The Pope believes so. Pope Francis has a request for his followers: put away your phones during Mass. At a certain point in every service, Francis noted the priest says, lift up your hearts. He doesn't tell us to lift up our cell phones and take pictures. I like that. That's awesome. It pains me greatly when I celebrate Mass here in the square or in the basilica to see so many cell phones raised. The Mass is not a spectacle, Francis continued. It is going to the passion and resurrection of the Lord. Great point. Great point. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, guys? Are we missing out when we're looking through our cell phones and we're missing the context and purpose and reason why we're there? Now, I would assume that there is a lot of people who are seeing the Pope as tourists, right? Spectators. Maybe they don't believe in what he believes in and things like that, and maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know. It's a great question. So, but just a thought. Next story I've got for you. First of all, I did not know this, guys. The company that owns Nutella also owns Tic Tacs and Ferrero Rocher. Is that how you say it? Ferrero Rocher? I don't know how you say it. But anyways, those chocolates. I didn't know they were owned all by the same company, but they are. Not many foods inspire a fandom quite like Nutella, if you've ever had Nutella. McDonald's restaurant in Italy serves it on hamburger buns. Lifestyle websites offer lists of signs you're addicted to Nutella, and at least one German soccer team dropped a player who couldn't stop eating it. Nutella confirmed on its Twitter feed last week that the recipe of Nutella underwent a fine-tuning that set off panic and anger on social media because Nutella was messed with. Yes, I don't know. People got angry over this. What did they say? They said the new recipe has 8.7% powdered skim milk instead of 7.5%, and it also contains 56.3% sugar instead of 55.9%. And people in the world went nuts because they messed with the recipe. Nutella was invented by an Italian chef, Pietro Ferrero, after World War II out of necessity. According to the BBC, cocoa was hard to come by in post-war Italy. In an attempt to make a chocolate paste without much chocolate, he decided to stretch a little bit of cocoa in a long way by using hazelnuts. In the past 5 years, Nutella sales are up 39% in the United States. Interesting information. I don't know how you feel about it, if you're a loyalist or not. I don't really appreciate Nutella. The only time that I've ever appreciated Nutella was when we had a French exchange student that lived with us for a period of time, and she was really young. She was like, I think she was 15 maybe, 14, 15, something like that, and she made homemade crepes like her mom made it and then spread Nutella on it. And I'm like, really? This is what you eat this thing? And she's like, yeah. It was amazing. Holy cow. So that's like my only experience with Nutella. So, but anyways, last story for you guys. I covered a story similar to this months ago now, quite a long time ago. This story was covered by The Atlantic, which does really nice little stories. I like it. And I would say you might want to go read this story in entirety because it's an interview. I'm not sharing the interview with you, but I am sharing the gist of what the interview is about because it's still fascinating to me. Money may not buy you love, but here in Japan, it certainly can buy the appearance of love, says the author of this article. As the dapper Ishi Yuchi insists, is everything. Appearance is everything. The handsome and charming 36-year-old is on call to be your best friend, your husband, your father, or even a mourner at your funeral. His 8-year-old company, Family Romance, provides professional actors to fill any role in the personal lives of clients. With a burgeoning staff of 800 or so actors, ranging from infants to the elderly, the organization prides itself on being able to provide a surrogate for almost any conceivable situation. Yuichi believes that Family Romance helps people cope with unbearable absences or perceived deficiencies in their lives. In an increasingly isolated and entitled society, the CEO predicts the exponential growth of his business and others like it. So you can hire a family, a full family, a person, or whatever, to fill a role of a family member in China, in Japan, excuse me, and it is a huge business. This is really, to me, it's odd. But I was talking with my daughter last night, and she was talking about, well, she just made an offbeat comment. And she said, she says, I don't feel like I'm from a family of dysfunction. I feel like we have a good, loving family, which I told her, by the way, as your father, that's like the greatest thing on the planet you could ever say. Like, that's awesome. But so my point of view is a little skewed, I guess, but there are a lot of people out there who are lacking family members, people to share things with, people to go if they're, in a work thing and they're invited and they're lying and saying, yes, they're married and they need to have a husband because to save face, because it's all about appearances or whatever it is. So it's fascinating that you can do this, but I don't know. Anyways, so this is an interview with this young man, 36-year-old guy who runs this company. It's an interesting interview. It really is. Gives you an insight of what's going on. So you might want to stop by, check out this article, freedomconvo.com, morning show link, and it'll be there. So I don't know. Interesting. On we go. Let's go to Google Trends. Top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google. Number 1. I don't even know how to say it. Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe? He's a Nigerian author. And he's ranking number 1 in the most searched on Google yesterday, which is amazing because I never even heard the name. So there it is. Number 2, Lil Peep. Number 3, Adam Bennett. I don't know any of these people. Number 4 is an Amber Alert. Number 5 is Nathan Peterman. Number 6 is Deadpool 2. Number 7 is Peru versus New Zealand soccer. Number 8 is Nicki Minaj. Number 9 is Charles Manson. Charles Manson. Wow, he is still alive, still in prison, but still alive. Number 10, Trump impeachment. So those are our top 10 most searched things yesterday on Google. Let's move on over to our Facebook, our trending news for today. Top of the list, possible outage affecting iPhone users with AT&T, which is me. I got to tell you guys, I was at the store yesterday, and I was looking at the Samsung Galaxy phone and the Pixel 2 phones. And I have had iPhones since the very first one. And I love how easy it is to use. I know where everything is. It works most of the time. But I am tired of all of the issues every time they come with a new software update. And when you don't have the brand newest phone to go with it. And it's frustrating to me. And I'm thinking about making the switch, but I'm not committed to it. That's a major change. But I did look for the first time ever. So I don't know. What does that mean? So next on the list, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Trump to allow imports of African elephant trophies. That was already allowed, though. I thought you could already go. If you got a permit, you could go hunt elephant, I thought. I don't know. Next, Stephen Mnuchin, Treasury boss Mnuchin, whatever his name is. Wife raise eyebrows with big money photo up. Next, we have the 76ers versus the Lakers. They played. Then we have Charles Manson. He's been hospitalized in the prison hospital. Next, Lil Peep. Rapper Lil Peep dies age 21 of suspected overdose. That's a sad story. 21, too young. Next is Twitter warns it will remove verified badge from accounts. Then we have Cards Against Humanity. Cards Against Humanity buys a piece of the U.S. border. Paul says he loves the Galaxy 8 Samsung phone. I've heard lots of great reviews about it. I've also heard lots of great Pixel 2 reviews, which I did not know that Google, who makes Pixel 2, also owns Android, which you would think that those two things then would work together better than anything else. So interesting. I don't know. Next, we have Roy Moore. Roy Moore shares open letter to Sean Hannity, and that is what's trending on our news today. Let's move on, guys. Let's get ourselves a passage of wisdom. Today's passage of wisdom, guys, I read it and went past it, went back, said, I think I'm going to share that. Read it again, was like, nope, going to move past it, went back again. I went back to this, no exaggeration. I went back to it 5 times, all right? And so I think it was something that we need to share this morning, okay? It has encouragement in it, but at the same time, it has other parts to it. So here we go. Today's passage is John chapter 15, verses 18 and 19. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. This is Christ talking. If you belong to the world, it will love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Now, the word hate is very strong, and I don't like that word. I can't change what Scripture says. And I don't necessarily know if I walk through life thinking that the world hates me. And that's the part that I was like, boy, that's so strong, man, to share that. Like, you're saying to people, like, listen, if you're going to follow after Christ, the world is going to hate you. And I'm like, man, that's strong. I have experienced where the world may not understand where I'm coming from. And I have seen where my children in school age have been in situations where they were sort of outcast because of their belief. I have seen that. So that is what this is talking about. If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. Christ experienced the same distance from the world as you and I may feel by following after him and putting his wisdom ahead of what the world would say is wise. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. If you want full acceptance, be like the world. But you'll have a lot of turmoil and a lot of love and a lack of love and a lot of loneliness along the way. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. You know, I talk a lot about being who you're meant to be, which is something that my son Evan had said in some of his writing, and that's why we talk about it so often, because it was so compelling that he chose that and he lived that way. And there were times when he was in school, yes, a lot of us are adults, but it's a great example. When he was in school and he was sitting at his table with his lifelong friends, and as they got older, all of a sudden the guys started talking about women in a degrading way. They started speaking with foul language. They started doing things that he didn't want to be part of, and he had to purposefully move himself out of the group of kids, students that he grew up with since preschool. And he had to remove himself from that group because he did not want to be like them and didn't want to pretend like he thought it was okay. And that caused him to feel like an outcast at times until he developed a new group of friends. That can happen in the workplace. There is no doubt about it that the guys or the ladies that we work with can tell the jokes that we don't agree with, can talk in racist terms the way we don't agree with, can do all kinds of things. And we can laugh it off because we want acceptance and don't want to be an outcast in our professional lives. But there's a time and a place to take a stand. And there's a time and there's a place to be exactly who we're meant to be as followers of Christ, with the confidence that we have that we are on the right path. One of the reasons why the world might not like us so much, and hates us, not like us so much, is because they may feel that we're judgmental. I don't think we are, unless you're one of those people who was always being judgmental. You know what I mean? But when we choose to follow after Christ, people will disagree with that, and they will judge themselves based on what they see us doing. And it doesn't take us to judge them. So, I don't know. That's my little opinion on this piece, guys. I don't know. Take that what it is. I find this passage to be encouraging because if people are looking at us out of the corner of our eye like, that's really unique, that means we're doing something right. So, let's pray, guys. And let's get this day started. Father, good morning. Father, we thank you for this Thursday. Another fantastic day for us to wake up, put our socks and shoes on and head out the door and make something great out of this day. We thank you for the week that you've given us so far, the protections that you've given us, the wisdom that you've given us, the encouragement through your word that you have given us each morning to carry through the day, the opportunities to make a change in the world, to serve the people around us each and every day that you have given us along the way. Father, if we have missed some of those opportunities that we've gone through because we've been focused on getting some things done, please, Father, give us a second chance. Put those people in front of us to give us a second chance to serve the people around us who need the serving the most. Father, we thank you for your passage this morning, even though it could be a little unsettling to think that the world could hate us for following after you. But Father, the promise and assurance that you have given us of your love and your grace and a heaven above, and that the life that we're living right now is an inch on an eternal long rope. We thank you for that promise. We thank you for the strength to carry us through when people may look at us as we're different. Give us the confidence. People love and admire confidence even when they don't agree with it. Give us the confidence to follow after you with our heads held high, unwavering, because that's what will make an impact on the people who look at us and don't quite understand us, and will cause them to ask questions and wonder, how is it that when we're not living according to the world's wisdom, we can hold our head high with peace and love and a smile on our face? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Father, be with us today. Keep us safe. We love you so much, and we thank you. Amen. And that, my friends, is a wrap. Thanks for being here this morning on the Morning Routine. I cannot wait until tomorrow morning, Friday morning, episode number 200. What will be tomorrow? Tomorrow will be episode 220. Look at that, man. We're rocking these things. So don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast. Help me out, get that out there, and we can grow our group larger and make more of an impact and encouragement out there in the world today. There are people out there right now who don't have a positive voice to speak into their life. I hope that I am filling that void. I hope that I am part of the puzzle in giving encouragement and starting people's days off the right way. And I just hope. That's all I'm trying to do, guys. And I appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in and giving me the words of encouragement that you guys give me as well along the way. Invaluable. You guys are awesome. So I hope you guys have a fantastic today. Make it count. And don't forget, guys, that today you have the opportunity to be exactly who you were meant to be. Be that person today. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.